I saved over 10,000 clips in just a few months, and this completely changed how I work with my computer. A while ago, I was switching between windows like crazy and wasting tons of mental energy. I'd copy some text, switch to another app, copy something else, and boom, my previous copy was gone. I was getting frustrated every day. Working with different text, images, and videos meant constantly losing important pieces of information, having to go back and copy the same things over and over again. Sometimes even losing my own work, text I just typed, or screenshots I just taken. Then I discovered ClipJump, and everything changed. Now my workflow looks like this. I copy a text, then another text, and then some more clips, press Ctrl V, and all my clips are right there. I choose exactly what I need. No more guessing, no more frustration. When I copy, I see a tooltip. When I paste, I see the content of the clip. But the program is ancient, and it hasn't been updated for a decade. It has a very simple design, occasional crashes, and not the most intuitive logic in some parts. Nevertheless, it still delivers. It mainly does what it has to do, and it's a completely free and customizable piece of software. Of course, you may need to understand AutoHotkey language to make changes. But why would someone even consider this overlooked program? Isn't it just gone with time? Well, what you need to know. The interface is pretty simple, intuitive, and easy to use. The program weighs less than 3 megs without cache and takes around 12 megabytes of RAM. It's usually lightning fast and yet quite powerful. Here's how I set it up and how it works in my daily workflow. Setting this up was surprisingly quick. I grabbed it from the author's GitHub page, extracted it to my programs folder, and launched it as admin since I may work with system files. Everything is ready to work. First thing I do is pin it to my system tray. Let's see how it works straight away. When I'm researching for an article, say about fennec foxes, my workflow is completely different now. I browse through multiple sources, copying interesting excerpts from each page. Then I switch to Notion or whatever you use, and instead of frantically trying to remember what I copied where, I just see all my clips organized and ready to paste in the right order. When I need the next clip, I press Ctrl V again. If it's the right clip, I just release the Control key. And if you want to scroll back, press C while holding Ctrl. If I changed my mind, I just hit X to cancel. If you realize you've copied something useless and want to delete it, press Ctrl X twice while pasting. That clip will disappear. And the last basic shortcut that's definitely useful while pasting, press F to open search. Find a clip by a keyword. You can also use the up and down arrow keys to browse results. Note that the search works through your entire history. There is a tip. If you have something that you want to delete but might actually need it later, simply cut it instead of deleting. Then you can find it either by search or by date in history. Another example. Let's say you work on different projects and want to store quick data separately. In a regular scenario, Clipboard history becomes a mess of unrelated clips. The only thing that connects them is the chronological order of your actions. With ClipJump, you can organize these clips using channels. In the system tray, right-click to open the program menu. Then go to Tools, Channel Manager. On the left panel, there is only one channel so far. To fix this, right-click on the panel area and create a new channel. I'll create several: Personal, Work General, Project A, and Project B. You can enter content into any channel through the interface. For example, let's enter the title of our future article that we'll use multiple times. Now let's copy different files and materials specifically for this project and paste them where needed. To switch channels while pasting, press the down arrow key. As a result, clips are separated and it's easy to navigate between them. Wants to see everything? Check the full history. Open the menu and choose Clipboard History from the Tools section. Here you can view or delete clips, clear the entire history, or search for specific content. By the way, you can access the Clipboard History and Channel Manager using hotkeys. I use Alt+H for history. You can also see that there are empty lines. Those are images that aren't saved by default. These settings, along with hotkeys and other options, can be changed in the Settings menu, which are also located in the Tools section. I highly recommend setting up a hotkey for Action Mode, where there is useful additional information. It's also accessible through the menu. In Action Mode, you can switch channels, quickly jump to Settings, History, Channel Manager, and many other features. In the settings, you can specify how many clips to store. I've reached 10,000 clips and only noticed some slowdown when launching the application. For simplicity, 20 might be enough for you. Below that, you can set how many days to store your clips. If you don't need the pop-up tooltip while copying, just uncheck this box. You can always start pasting with default formatting. The thing is, you have multiple pasting options. For example, you've copied HTML code with extra text and you want to get only the text. To do that, use the DHTML format by pressing Ctrl+V+Z and then Z several times. Other cool options: make lists, all caps text, or quick find replace. The replace feature works this way. Type what you want to replace, then on the new line write with what you want to replace it. For instance, create a list from copied text, convert text to uppercase, or even quickly replace content while pasting. Finally, let's look at a few more useful features. When you have lots of clips, you can quickly scroll through several at once by pressing numbers 0 to 9 as many times as needed. You can also use the minus key to scroll in the opposite direction. If there is a clip you want to move up, press the Q key. To pin a clip to a specific number, press space. If you don't want to paste it immediately, press X first. This way, the clip will always be accessible under that number. To see additional options while pasting, press F1. There is also an editing feature available. You can press Ctrl+H while pasting to edit clips before they're inserted. By default, it uses Notepad for text and Paint for images, and you can change the image editor to Paint.net in settings. However, I couldn't get this feature to work properly. Clips didn't save changes and some windows even crashed. So for now, I'd recommend skipping this feature. ClipJump is only available for Windows, starting from XP, because it's written in AutoHotkey. The open source code allows you to make changes. For example, I didn't like the original copying sound, so I changed it to my own. There are also image thumbnails stored in the program folder, in a cache subfolder. You can customize the program even further, like creating your own plugins and modifying the source code, if you know AHK, of course. I'll be honest, it's not perfect. Sometimes when I'm copying multiple files or large chunks of data, the program gets confused and pastes immediately without showing me the menu. I just restart ClipJump from the tray. Takes 2 seconds and I'm back to normal. That doesn't happen very often, but it's worth mentioning. For this, by the way, there's actually a separate option in the tray menu, Restart. You can also specify which windows the program shouldn't work in. Also, if you use multiple languages, the program sometimes doesn't recognize hotkeys when you switch languages. Although these are rather minor issues, they're unlikely to disrupt your enjoyment of the program. So, ClipJump is a cool free tool for clipboard management. It can be used for daily tasks as well as for writing code and articles. It can also be used for video editing, working with images, files, and other processes where you need to move, copy, or paste something. The program weighs just a few megabytes and has almost no effect on system performance. If you haven't used clipboard managers yet, it's a great way to start. And if you like it, don't forget to enable it to run at startup. If you use another application and can recommend it, write the name in the comments.